Hello there, everybody, and happy Wednesday to you. This is your update video for Wednesday, October 12th, 2022. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Whether you're joining us live here or you're watching the replay, sure is good to be with you, and appreciate you taking time. So I am a little bit late this week. I've had a couple of sick ladies in my house this week, so we are I'm getting to you here just a little bit late, but appreciate your patience. And but you know, it's good to be here and talking with you. I've got a whole smattering of updates, and so you probably saw in this week's email, or if you're watching this live, you can see down in the description that I just put a line item that says updates. I have a bunch of random things for you. None of them really, I guess, merited their own specific segment of the update video. So I just kind of want to walk through a bunch of different things. And then I'll give you a rundown of what's going to happen this Sunday morning, October 16th in the service. We've got everything set there. So let's jump in with both hands and feet here and see how everything goes. So let's start first with some updates. And I want to show you, I took this picture earlier today here in the sanctuary. And as you can see, we have some brand new chairs going in the upper section. They've got the backs going in, and of course they're working on the other side too, and working on the sides. I haven't been in there. I'm sure they've got the actual seat bottoms as well, but it looks so good, so classy. I think it's going to have a really nice, timeless feel. And if you look up there at the back wall, you can start to see what the new color is going to look like in the room. As far as that nice warm gray color, and there that column kind of in the middle of the picture in the top is going to be an accent color that they're using in the room. So hopefully that helps you kind of start to see what the finishes are going to look like. I know it's been a long time with some of the framing work and the concrete and everything like that, but it's really great to start to see some of the finish work come together in there. If you haven't had an opportunity to peek in, catch me on a Sunday sometime, and we'll peek our heads in there, and you can take a look. Otherwise, I'll just keep throwing pictures your way every once in a while. Pretty cool to see it come together. Now, I know you're going to ask, hey, what's the first Sunday that we're going to be in there? And I have no idea. We are still working with the contractor. There's still lots of sub work that's happening in there. Right now, they are finishing up painting, dry and taping, mudding, those types of things. I guess all the taping and mudding's done. They're doing lots of sanding and painting right now. So there's a lot of that work to do. And then on the sidewalls, they've got some wood paneling. They've got sound reinforcement. We have lots of new tech that's going in that space as well. So there's just a lot of moving parts. And at this point, it's kind of hard to nail down a target date. But once I know for sure, you will know for sure as well. Second thing, as far as updates today, the last couple of weeks I've mentioned your blockout dates. In fact, I showed the video a couple of weeks ago on how to submit your blockout dates on the mobile app. Last week we actually hopped on to the desktop app and took a look at how to submit blockout dates there. But I just want to remind you, keep your blockout dates up to date. And here over the next week or two, you will start to see service requests coming your way for November, December here right at the end of 2022. Whenever you get those, take a moment and respond to those as soon as possible. What I usually say is I like for you to respond within 48 hours of a service request. I know sometimes, schedules change or you need to double check something, but really, I want you to lock those in as quickly as possible so that myself and your team leaders will know what is happening and that all of our all the spots that we're responsible for covering are going to be covered. One other thing, just keep your blockout dates up to date as we go along throughout the year. Of course, we do one kind of focused effort, and that's just a reminder of submitting blockouts for the current session. But hey, if you know like next summer you're going to be gone the first week of June because you've already scheduled a vacation, throw it in there as a blockout date. It just helps. It's top of mind. You can throw it in there and then you don't have to worry about it whenever the time comes. And, if something changes, you can always go in and remove your blockout date as well. The final thing with the blockout dates is I don't remember. There was something that came top of mind that I thought, hey, I need to remember to mention that. And it's gone. That happens. All that to say, blockout dates. Oh, I do remember now. So I'm going to, whenever I do the schedule for the band and for the lighting team, which is what I do scheduling for, I'm going to go ahead and schedule that through January 1st. So those of you who are doing scheduling, go make sure you schedule a team out for January 1st. Once the holidays hit, it's usually pretty chaotic, and the next round of scheduling will actually happen the first part of December, which is usually when the chaos gets turned up to 11. So make sure that you go ahead and schedule that day out. New Year's Day will be on Sunday this year. Okay, that's everything you need to know with blockout dates. And let's move on here to the camera team. I want to discuss something specific to them. Randy, your team leader, has been in touch with you guys over the last couple of weeks. I think he sent a couple of emails just about your schedules kind of moving ahead. And in that, he talked about the new opportunities we're going to have with the team whenever we move back into the sanctuary. We're going to have 2 hard cam positions. And for those of you who don't know the lingo, the hard cam is the camera that's on the tripod. Before, it's been in the back of the room. Right now, it's kind of right in the middle of the room. But we're going to have 2 of those cameras kind of side by side flanking the center aisle down in the front section in the new sanctuary. And we will need 2 operators every service for those cameras. And Randy's been talking to you guys about taking on some more services, taking on some more weekends. We'll also have the ability to run 2 handheld cameras. We used to call them roamer cameras, and we've kind of updated the lingo to be a little more consistent with the broadcast industry. And so we have 2 handheld cameras, or the capability for that, on stage. And then we of course have folks that are up in the booth who are the technical director actually runs the switcher. The camera director actually calls the show. So there's lots of opportunity here for folks to work in these positions. Really, this is important as we seek to reach those who are unable to be with us live on a weekend. It's a really great opportunity, pretty unprecedented, really. You think about 100 years ago, these types of ministries didn't exist, and so it's an incredible gift and incredible grace that we have this opportunity, and we just want to steward it well. We want to make sure we do it with excellence, and so those of you who are serving on that team, there's lots of opportunities. But I would like for you, if you do serve on the camera team, here's 2 things. Number 1, if you've not responded to that email that Randy sent, I'd like for you to respond and just give your feedback and give him what you're able to commit to there. And if you're on the camera team and you've been on the sidelines for a while, I know COVID sidelined some folks, just different life circumstances has sidelined some of you. If you've been on the sideline for a while, we're ready for you to get back into the game. And there's plenty of opportunity to jump back in, and I think you'll really enjoy the setup that we're going to have in the new space. It's going to be a great team to be a part of. Of course, we're still building that team and still wanting to add new folks. So as you know of people who are interested, please send them my way or send them Randy's way, and we'll get them plugged in and going. Okay? All right. And so final thing I want to talk about, speaking of our services, I mentioned a while back, it's probably been 2 or 3 months ago now, it would have definitely been back in the summer, that whenever we move into the new space, we're going to add a third service back. And I think at that point we were toying around with the idea of adding a Saturday night service back into the mix. And so we would do one service on Saturday night, 2 services on Sunday morning. We have actually decided not to go in that direction. We're going to end up doing 3 services on Sunday morning. And so I want to talk through what our schedule is going to look like there, because I think that's going to be helpful for you, as you know, so that you know how to plan moving forward, and you also know what our rotation is going to look like here. So starting with the service times. Our service times will now be whenever we move into the new space. So this is not effective immediately. It's only effective whenever we move into the new space. Our service times will be 8:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and 11 o'clock a.m. 8:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and 11 o'clock a.m. So now it'll be 75 minutes from the start of one service to the start of the next service. We have been doing 90 minutes, but we're going to condense that a bit. That way we can get 3 services in on a Sunday morning. That means we'll also condense our services down a little bit. It probably means that we'll drop 1 song from our music set on Sunday mornings. Now, we're not as concerned with flow of traffic, just because now we'll have before we had 6 different options. Now we're going to have, we made actually 7 or 8 different options. Now we're going to be adding 2 more options to that up on the second floor as far as egress is concerned. So that's going to help us as far as transitioning between the services. Those of you, I think, who are going to be, that this is going to affect most, are the ones who have to be on, focused, and playing an active role in the service from the start to the finish of every service. Our team kind of functions. We have part of our team who they play a role in a portion of the service, and then they have, they have some downtime. Well, there's a whole nother part of our team who gets no break at all. This includes your camera operators, those who are working behind the scenes there. This also includes your projectionists, basically anyone working on the video graphics, broadcast side of things. It to a lot of an extent includes your sound operator too, even though there is an opportunity most of the time, to step out once the sermon starts. However, that position really needs to be, on and focused, throughout the entirety of the service. But it's going to be important for us to make sure that we allow those folks some type of break in between services. So we'll plan accordingly and make sure that we're not leaving you guys hanging there. Okay. Anyway, those are the new service times. Rehearsal. So that means that rehearsal will need to be modified as well. We will still start the entire team at 7 o'clock a.m. for rehearsals. Okay, so that means vocals, horns, the choir. Once we add the choir into the mix, everybody will start at 7 o'clock a.m. and we'll go from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock a.m. Then we'll do our production meeting at 8 o'clock, and then we'll go live with our first service at 8:30. Now, the rhythm section, we have already been doing this on a semi-regular basis of us meeting with 6:30, but whenever we go to this new rotation, we will permanently go to having the rhythm section come in at 6:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings and get that early start. That way we can get all of our stuff worked out before the rest of the team jumps in and gets started. Okay, so we'll just have to focus our efforts a little more. We'll have a little less rehearsal time, but I think we've got a plan here set so that we don't have to go back to Wednesday night rehearsals. We can keep everything on Sunday morning, including all the service times, and I think we'll have a nice tight operation there, even though it's going to be a concentrated time of effort on Sunday morning. Now, I am also considering, as we get more complex with graphics and camera shots and things moving on stage, I am considering on Wednesday nights in the new year doing a midweek tech rehearsal. This would not be for the band folks. This would just be for the tech. I haven't completely gotten my mind around all that would include, but I think it would be a really helpful thing for us to do so that technology is set. There's so many things that could be pinned down before we get to Sunday mornings that would be helpful for us to have pinned down. And I think that midweek tech rehearsal would make those things, would help cement those things earlier rather than later. So anyway, there you go. Those are all the deets there. Okay, let me jump over here because those are all the updates. I would like for us to transition now and go over and talk about the plan for this coming weekend. So if you've got Planning Center, you can go over there. If not, I'll pop up a version of it here for you to take a look at. Let me zoom in here, make this a little bit bigger for you to see. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's, yeah, I think you can see that all right. So the pre-service, we will do 15-minute countdown. There is no pre-service music this Sunday morning. We will stick with just starting right on the top of the hour at 9 o'clock and at the half hour at 10:30. We will start here with a call to worship from Psalm 66, 1 through 3a, and of course using coming from the ESV there. You can read that, and that will be up on the screen as well. You've noticed the last few weeks that I've been including, probably the last 4 to 6 weeks, I've been including call to worship at the top of our services. That's not just an anomaly. That's something that I want to do moving forward. There's some important reasons for doing that. I think that number one, it's good for us to have anchors in our liturgy, things that we do week to week, habits that we have whenever we worship together. Those are really important, and a call to worship is really good. I think the call to worship is it is a point in time in which you say, hey, we are coming out of our regular day-to-day lives. We are coming together for a special time. The church gathered together here, and having the worship leader speak a call to worship from Scripture helps lift our eyes to the Lord and lift our eyes to where we should be focused. So that's why I'm having us do that. Now I don't want this to be. I don't want us to be Gnostic about this. I don't want us to say our regular lives, those are just ordinary. They don't matter. What really matters is this time right here. No, it's all, God is a part of all of this, the physical and the spiritual, all combined here together. But this is it's a marker that says, here we are. This is a special time right now. We're going to lift our eyes to the Lord. Okay. So I'm going to have Elizabeth lead that. She'll read that, and then we'll start right in with great things. We'll do great things and Christ our hope in life and death back to back. Now, please note on Christ our hope in life and death, that is a different arrangement this week. We have been doing the worship arrangement, or the worship initiative, which is Shane and Shane. We have been doing that arrangement, but we're going to do the arrangement from the Sing Global recording, which is a little more high energy, especially at the beginning. So make sure to take a listen to that. The rehearsal track is loaded up there. You can have a listen, and of course I've got a recording in there too. Okay, we'll go from that into the welcome spot, and then wrapping up the welcome spot this week, we're going to do a video update on the container homes that our missions team has been working on in Washington Park. Those of you who were involved with VBS this year, you'll remember the offering was to purchase a container home to go down into the new development that's happening there in Washington Park. And Paul and his team, they have an update video that they've put together on the progress that they're making, and it's really cool. So we're going to play that this Sunday morning at the end of the welcome spot. We'll transition there, and we'll have the band actually start Cornerstone. And as they are doing the intro, I'm going to have Nate read Psalm 18:2 to set up Cornerstone as we go in there. Okay, at the end of Cornerstone, we're going to make a really smooth transition into Yet Not I, but Through Christ in Me. We'll talk about this on Sunday morning, but we're going to kind of weave those two together. And then Nate will pray, and then Tom will be up for the message. At the end of the message this week, we're going to do Firm Foundation by Cody Carnes. It's a new one for us. You guys might be familiar with it, but it's a fairly new song that's out recently. And then at the walkout, we will do verse 1 and chorus 3 again for the walkout, and that's how we'll wrap everything up this weekend. Okay, well, that's everything that I have for updates. That's the plan for this Sunday. As we kind of wrap up the update video today, I wanted to do a callback to something I mentioned last week. I did a little segment called Hymns in the Home, and I've had some of you follow up with me on that. I've had some good conversations come out of that, some emails and things, and so I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your input. I appreciate you dialoguing with me on that. That's something that I think is really important. It seems like you guys already have some good resources, so I just kind of want to be helpful. If there's anything that I can do to help put things in your, put resources in your hands to help your families, please let me know, because I do want to be a resource for you there. And I want to continue to encourage you to learn hymns, to sing them together, to have a hymn of the month, that type of thing that you learn together as a family and sing. But I did want to make some kind of follow-up comments on all of that. And to say, the idea of singing together as a family, these are establishing habits that will help your kids come to love and to cherish the things of God, to love God's standard. And not only to love his standard, but to know what his standard is, to know what his word is and what it says, and to also live conscientiously in the world that God has created. It protects them from just mindlessly adopting the secular culture that is around them, and it firmly establishes the things of God, the worldview of the Bible in their minds. And so I think that's really important, but I think even more important than the singing of the hymns, and that's not to say don't sing the hymns, sing the hymns, but even more important than that is the life that you live. Because the life that you live will sing louder than the hymns that you sing. And if the hymns that you're singing and the life that you live are coherent, they have cohesiveness between the two of them, then you're going to make a lasting impression upon the life of your children and the way that they choose to go. Hymns are not a magic pill. Words are not a magic pill. There's nothing that's a magic pill whenever it comes to communicating truth and communicating scripture to your kids. However, the thing that will be most impactful is how you live. If you sing boldly, but you live cowardly, your kids are going to internalize a message of cowardice. If you sing joyfully, but you respond, with a surly attitude to everything, that's what your kids are going to internalize. They're going to internalize the surliness. If you sing "Have Thine Own Way, Lord," and then lose your cool every time things don't go your way, that's going to leave an impression on your family and on your kids. If you sing victory, oh victory in Jesus, but you live as a defeated victim, that's going to have an impression on your kids. And so I want to encourage you to watch how you're living as you're singing with your family, as you're putting good fruitful songs into their ears. Make sure that there's good fruitful living that's happening in front of their eyes. Paul says to Timothy, his protege, says in 1 Timothy 4:16 to keep a close watch on yourself, so on your life, how you're living, and on the teaching. All right, persist in this, for by so doing, you will save both yourself and your hearers. I think you can apply this in your home too. Keep a close eye. What are you singing? Make sure you're singing good songs. And then how are you living? What's your life like? What's your doctrine like? And what's your life like? Keep a close eye on that and persist in doing it. Do it every single day. Persist in doing so, because if you do, you'll save yourself and you'll save your hearers. I hope that's an encouraging word to you today, and I just want to spur you on in singing good songs with your families, because it's absolutely vital. And then live well, because that's absolutely vital as well. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope you all have a great week. I'll see you this Sunday, and I'm looking forward to serving with all of you. Take care.